Footballers such as Ronaldo, Messi and Haaland are known to eat super healthy to stay in shape, but today I'm going the other way because I'm eating the cheat meals of the best players on the planet and I'll be ranking them to find out which one is the best. But there is one thing, it's the only food I can consume for the next 24 hours. Will I survive? Will I fail? And which footballer will be crowned the Ballon d'Or of cheat meals at the end? Rest in peace, my toilet. The first footballer is Erling Haaland. Haaland consumes about 6,000 calories a day eating cow's heart, liver and lasagna made by his dad, so no wonder he's a robot on the pitch. But I won't be eating cow's hearts today. Instead, it's going to be Haaland's cheat meal, a kebab pizza. But will Erling Haaland's pizza win the Ballon d'Or? Which reminds me to tell you I'll be judging each cheat meal on taste, price and cheat level. Plus for each footballer, I have to complete a specific challenge related to that player. And my challenge for Haaland is to eat the whole pizza in less than 9 minutes. Haaland's squad number. Can I do it or will I be a failure like every Manchester United manager since Alex Ferguson? 3, 2, 1, let's go. I put garlic mayo and chili on my pizza. So this cheat meal just gone to the next level. But this genuinely might be the best pizza I've ever had. But I've got so many more cheat meals to eat later, I don't know how I'm going to get through it. But time was ticking away, and as I got through more and more pizza, the struggle became more and more. But I trusted the process like an Arsenal fan to Arteta and got to one final pizza slice in 30 seconds. Oh, and I did it. I've never been happier to see Vinicius Jr. That was very difficult. Now I've got to go and give it a rating. That kebab pizza nearly wiped me out. I don't know how I got through that. Erling Haaland can put food away. But other than how I feel, the taste was amazing. The garlic and chili just took it up another level. For £13 in the size of the pizza, I think that was quite fair. And as for how cheat level it was, it's going to be up there. But Haaland's got some serious competition coming later. Taste gets a 9, price gets an 8, cheat level gets a 9. I'm going with a strong Norwegian 26. Next up is Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo's had to stay healthy to stay on top of his game his whole career. His favourite food is bacalhau abrash, but sometimes shares a little cheat meal, pizza, with his son. Now we've already done pizza with Erling Haaland, so I'm going to do his other cheat meal. Steak, chips and a fried egg. And my challenge is to sneak one of Ronaldo's cheat meal items into the restaurant. The menu had so much steak, but which one would Ronaldo go for? But when the meal arrived, there was something missing from the menu, a fried egg. But luckily, earlier in the day, I had prepared the fried egg at home, popped it in a container and snuck it into the restaurant to add to my meal, just to make sure I don't fail this challenge. Never eaten an egg so quick in my life. But how did the steak and chips taste? Chips are good, fresh. I think Ronaldo would like these chips. That is Ballon d'Or steak. I'm starting to feel full, but I've still got one more steak fillet to get through. And chips. That kebab pizza's still sitting there. I finished the meal and my belly was finally full. Now Ronaldo is usually compared to another footballer coming up later, but how did this cheat meal compare on my ratings? Steak in my eyes is just not a cheat meal, but for someone like Ronaldo who's so athletic and super healthy, it is. The price for the steak and chips was £39.50, which for Ronaldo, he probably earns that every half a second. The egg was free, of course. The taste was unreal, and I love steak like Arsenal love bottles. But the cheat level I don't think will be very high for Ronaldo because I just don't feel like it was a very cheaty meal. So taste gets a 9, price gets an 8, and cheat level gets a 3. A total score of 20. Let's see who the next player is. Now it's no secret that Cole Palmer loves a Chinese takeaway and more famously, chippy chips. So of course that would be my cheat meal, chippy chips. But I won't be eating at any old fish and chip shop. I'll be eating at Palmer's Fish and Chip shop in Yeovil. And my challenge is to find a 1-star review with the word cold and then leave my own Cole Palmer star rating after the meal. I found a 1-star review, let's see what it says. We popped in on the way home for 2 portions of chips which cost us £4.40. And all I could say was I was disappointed to the size of the portion, hardly enough to feed a child, let alone an adult. Well, after all the cheat meals I've had today, I'm kind of hoping it's a kid's portion. The chips were cold, dry and not nice, so a waste of money. Needless to say, I will not be going back. Well, it's my time to go in. Let's see what Palmer's is all about. The menu had everything in there you'd find in a fish and chip shop, but I didn't expect to see white wine being served. The chips were out quicker than a Manchester United title race. They did look a bit dry, but how would they taste? I've got to say, they're not cold. They are steaming hot. I've got all of that to go and I've got to finish every single bit of it. I'm not going to fail this challenge. I'm not failing it. But the effects of the kebab, steak and now more chips were starting to take its toll as I came down to the final 8 chips. But I remembered that Chelsea were no longer mid-table man-dems and completed the plate. We finished it. We done it. We done the chips. Let's get outside, leave a cold review now. The service was speedy, delivered right on my plate. I felt like a world champion because the chips were cold. They actually weren't, but in Cole Palmer terms, they were cold. Like Chelsea Football Club, the portions were huge and the chips were skinned perfectly. So Palmer's gets 5 stars. But I tell you what, my belly right now doesn't feel 5 stars. I think the next cheat meal might tip me over the edge. Let's go. Cheap chips are basically just chips here in the UK. We called it going to the chippy to get fish and chips. And as far as chippy goes, this one that I went to was like stepping back in time. It was like Chelsea Football Club before Roman Abramovich. Decent, but not top tier. The chips were hot, but they were a little bit dry. For £4.40, I would have expected a bigger portion. But did I really feel like my portion of chips was a cheap meal? Not really. Taste, I'm giving it a 6. Price gets a 6. And cheap meal level gets a 6. Overall, Cole Palmer gets an 18. After a 2-2 draw with Liverpool back in 2022, De Bruyne went to McDonald's to buy his kids some Happy Meals. Then he became an ambassador for Ronald McDonald himself. So my 4th cheat meal in 24 hours is, of course, McDonald's. And the challenge is to order the same thing Kevin De Bruyne ordered on that 2-2 day. I don't know what order Kevin De Bruyne gets from McDonald's, but that day that he went to McDonald's, he got some Happy Meals for his kids. So that's what I've got today. And I've gone for a cheeseburger kids meal. KDB just seems like a cheeseburger type of guy. I don't know. Let's get into this cheat meal though, man. But will it be better or worse than the kebab, steak and chippy chips? The toy looked out of place like a world-class player in the Manchester United dressing room. But what were KDB's chips like? Are these better than Cole Palmer's chippy chips? Don't know if they are, you know. Although when it comes to fast food chips at McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, McDonald's are the best. Agree? And now the burger. No onions or gherkins, obviously. This is 18-19 Kevin De Bruyne. Who needs onions and gherkins? You just need cheese and ketchup. My belly was full and I didn't know how much more I could take. I needed something to wash it down. Happy Meals don't allow you to get lemonade or Coke or Fanta or anything. So I had to get the unhealthiest drink, which I think KDB probably drinks. I remember when Happy Meals used to be like $1.99. Yes, I am an unk. But after finishing my meal, I wasn't feeling too good. I feel like the next cheat meal is really gonna tip my belly over the edge. It won't mix well with what I've eaten so far. But before that, let's get Kevin De Bruyne's cheat meal ratings. I couldn't believe how much a Happy Meal was. £4.19. It's robbery. I would say a joke about Man City and charges, but it's just not relevant with KDB anymore, is it? The taste is what you'd expect from McDonald's, you know, a cheeseburger and chips. You can never get it wrong. But I'd imagine that Kevin De Bruyne would get more than a Happy Meal at McDonald's. But for any professional footballer, McDonald's is always going to be a cheat meal, isn't it? So for taste, I'm giving it an 8. Price gets a 3. And cheat level gets a 7. Overall score, 18. It was now time for a little sleep before the next player's cheat meal, which came the following morning. The next player is Lionel Messi. This guy used to live on junk food in his early days, like sugar, snacks and pizza. His diet changed, but he still had cheat meals. One cheat meal was dolce de leche and ice cream. So I'm going to mix the two, dolce de leche and ice cream. And I'm wet. Let's get inside. And my challenge for Messi is to find the best and most popular dolce de leche ice cream item on the menu, because it's Messi. Genuinely, who has ice cream for breakfast? But I'm not failing this. I'm gonna complete it. The restaurant was very on brand for Messi's time at Inter Miami. Lots of pink and even a crown. But would the ice cream be GOAT worthy or Arsenal's trophy cabinet, tasteless and empty? That is absolutely on the money. This might be the GOAT of ice cream, but for breakfast, I'm not sure how this is going to go. But the struggle was real. I felt like Gary Lineker during the 1990 World Cup, but I wasn't going to let this defeat me. I battled through the pain until I finally finished the ice cream. Hour 24, I've completed it, but I've got to decide which player wins the Ballon d'Or of cheat meals. And all I could think about was this. Adding a load of dairy on top of everything else I've eaten in the last 24 hours was probably a mistake. But I had no choice. I had to finish the goat's meal, didn't I? And to be honest, that ice cream did taste like 2011 Messi. Not actually like him because I don't know what he tastes like, but that level. For £9.95, I think it was worth it. A huge amount of ice cream, and did it feel like a cheat meal? It absolutely did. So taste gets an 8, price gets a 7, and cheat level gets an 8. Overall, it's a 23. And with 24 hours complete, it's now time to find out who is winning the Ballon d'Or of the cheat meals. And the winner is Erling Haaland. I'm gonna go and rest my belly. Make sure you like, subscribe, and check out this video whilst you're here.